think everything that we plan around the opposition and then what we can exploit in the game, it showed. We know they were a good playing side, and then we try to contain them and also try to bring our identity to play. Sometimes it's difficult when you are playing against a team that is more on the transition, waiting for you to lose the ball, and then they try to go behind you. You try as much as possible to take care of those situations and then exploit the situation. At the end, we still defended very well. There were very few chances against us, and even though that part of the game, they control some parts of the game, but we still control the spaces in terms of not breaking down our defensive solidity. And so some games will be difficult like this. Sometimes losing a very key player defensively, Ali, can change so many things, and so, but I still part my boys for being very resilient, and then playing with the clean sheets and then scoring one.
That's one thing. And then I'll come for game.
Game here very tough. I stick it to our game. The most important thing we take part.
Playing body, you know, how are you taking the victory?
I think it's actually a good mind, but still there are a lot of work to do. They don't continue our work.
And then I'll come for performance and then.
I think I'm still working to improve this.
Coach, the final moment, the opponents took over the game. Would you agree? And why did that happen?
Of course, it's, when you are fatigued, there's nothing you can do. And at that point of the season, you expect that players are still struggling to be able to adapt to the high tempo of matches. This is the third game, so you can anticipate that. You find that you can anticipate that we play the game on Monday, and then we just have 2 training sessions, and then going into another game with the same squad. You should expect that latter part of the game you suffer and you try to keep your concentration, and then you try to sacrifice a little and try to keep the collective play of the team. And so we anticipated this, but at least absence also caused, because we needed to do a false substitution where we needed to take him out and then bring someone in, even though he fitted very well. But that one player would have been used in terms of our substitutions to add up some value in terms of energy depletion. So I think that in my estimation, of course, yes, the opponent was losing, so you expect that the opponent will play freely. We were now playing to try as much as possible to get 3 maximum points, and so we were more strategic in terms of containing them within that aspect of the game, and then to manage the game at that time with only what we had on the pitch, because we couldn't bring any other person in the game. He, for instance, was beginning to have some challenges, and then he was one of our strongest link up there. We were forced to take him out, so it happens.
Is 1-0 a true reflection of the game?
I think so. I think.
Should you have scored more?
I think we should have scored more. We should have scored more. Even in the first half, we still could have scored 1 more goal. In the second half, I think we still created some 2 decent opportunities that we could have still made. It was difficult to see that, even though we came under that pressure, but it was not so easy to break it. We're still in the right shape.
What would you make of the opponent's goalkeeper's performance?
I think some of the balls were not clinical enough in terms of his positioning. All the same, he's there to do that. That is his responsibility, and this is a Premier League, and if he's not capable of that level, I'm not sure he will be in, and he just performed his responsibilities.
Okay, Coach, 2 questions. The first one, what is the situation with Kelvin? And also, one key thing we've realized in the team is the ability to convert chances. As a coach, what are you doing to ensure that subsequent games you correct that?
I think that the league has just started. You need the confidence of winning games, and you need the confidence of creating chances, and then when we begin to get the conversion rate raising up, and then that will boost. For me, the interesting aspect is that we try to create the chances, we try to be in the right positioning, and then the conversion is just our decision making at the right time. Maybe sometimes one more pass, one more run, one more touch in the right space, and then the confidence will, you need to create more chances, and that is how the confidence will come. Because we need our front liner to get into the danger zone most of the time, and then once we are able to get in the danger zone most of the time, then the courage to continue to do that and the confidence to continue to do that becomes more bigger and becomes more profound. And when we are able to do this consistently, we can be able to sustain, and then we'll begin to convert. I'm very hopeful that our conversion rate will improve.
All right.
There's a lot to improve, honestly.
And on Kevin.
Yeah, Kelvin had a bad tackle on his knee in the last game, and so we needed. I've said it time again that I need to always protect my players. I need to make sure that the player instead of just playing him so that to aggravate the injury, it's better to take him off one game, and then the subsequent game he'll be there for longer time. And that's why we didn't even force to push Ali in there. We just took him off. We have a disciplined bench, so anyone who comes in can give his best.
All right, Coach. 11 Wonders had some dangerous moments getting to the end of the game. Were you pleased with how your defenders handled the situation? And then do you think this performance shows the kind of consistency you are demanding from them this season? And then, it's one thing.
We need to believe in what we are doing, and that's the consistency we try to imbibe in our players. That we try to be strong also, that we can play games, tight games, where we can just score one, and then that will be it, and then we can protect it. And then sometimes it's a difficult game and you are drawing. It's always good to draw than to lose games, and it's always good to have just one goal and protect it, strongly. At the latter part of the 15 minutes to the end of the game, we were still very offensive minded in terms of bringing on Prince, and then taking on George, who was also running out of steam, so that we don't lose our backups. Fortunately, Kwesi Asma is also coming back from injury, and then hopefully Hussein might be back. Then we can have more cards to play on. But I think that it is always very important that if you can play without, you can see that our willpower was not a test. Even though the opponent had some dominance, they had both dominance in terms of how they kept the ball in the ball, we were in the right position. So it didn't look too dangerous, in my opinion. From look of movement, you say, but they were not threatening. At some point, when they get to the last part, maybe poor decision also on their part, which is normal. We all need that confidence to continuously do things in the right ways. Then the art of believing in what you are doing becomes more sustained. And so I think that it's good to learn how to play with clean sheets, and then how to defend strongly.
All right, it's one thing. Congratulations.